Yes, hello everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining us today. And my name is Sita. I'm the child play therapist in NCSM. And today we're going to talk about fostering positive relationship for the siblings. Yeah, and before we introduce the subject even more, I am going to actually introduce the speaker. Okay, and she's going to come in on board online. And this speaker, yeah, Dr. Aziza, can we come in online?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Hi, doctor.
Hi.
Okay, so before let me introduce her in a bit. Dr. Aziza and I actually we went back way long time before, and we actually did the course under play therapy in 2015, and ever since then we've been in touch, and yeah, we've got a good friendship going on there. Yeah. So how are you, Aziza?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. So maybe would you like to just introduce yourself and yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sita. Okay. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
National Cancer Society Malaysia, for having me tonight. It's a great pleasure. Yeah, we've met some times ago. We played together, indeed, in
Yes,
the.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at pediatric department, School of Medical Sciences, USM Kubang Kerian, Kelantan, for almost I think 13 years now. So I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm seeing patient, children, adolescent, and parents with a psychological problem, mainly at the hospital, and I also see patient outpatient. But on top of that, I'm a lecturer in psychology. I'm teaching a graduate student, master in clinical psychology. I'm teaching a doctorate student in clinical psychology. I'm also doing a lot of research and publishing papers in the related area. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. This is a really, very intense job as well, dealing with kids. Yeah, and during this journey where kids are diagnosed with cancer, it's a ripple effect for the family. Yeah, it's not only the
Yeah.
child who's like sick and going to the hospital, but parents and of course the forgotten ones are the siblings, the shadow kids at the back, because they are the ones will be taking care of the household while the parents are in finding financial needs or taking care of the child in the hospital. So yeah, so I mean, what can we do for these children, and how does a cancer diagnosis in one child affect the overall family dynamics, Aziza?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sita.
Yeah.
So we all know that having a one person in the family who is sick, for example, is something which is not good to
Mm-hmm.
deal with. What more if it is a child and having cancer? Okay, so I
Yeah.
guess that's something like very much burdening and very demanding, not for the child but also to the parents. And today we want to actually look into the siblings who are always in the background of the
Yeah.
situation. Okay? I guess Sita also knows very much about how this would impact the family in general.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that when something big like this happen in a family, one of the I guess first thing to come is actually the changing of routine. Okay, in the family. So that would affect the dynamic of the family so much. For example, we know both parents or maybe one of the parent will need to go to the hospital very frequently and doing so much thing, especially at the first 1 year of the
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis. So when this happen, the absence of parent, one or both parent would somehow impact not only the family dynamic but also the children. We are talking about the siblings who are left at house and healthy in particular. So that is changes in the routine, and then absence of parent, and then changes of role and responsibility. Okay, so when one or both parents are not there, most of the time, often siblings or relatives would take some part, and the roles and responsibility change. Okay, so the siblings in particular would also need to somehow adapt to these changes, and yeah, that's how the dynamic in the family would somehow also affected. Then we will also look into the parents' condition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, the psychological well-being of the parents. Okay, so we always, for example, first study how cancer affect the child. Okay, the sick child, and then the second person that we want to look into or look after is always the parents. Okay, then we know, okay, they are affected psychologically, and
Mm-hmm.
when their well-being somehow affected, the relationship, their relationship with their other children will also get affected, although they realize it or they want it to happen or not. Okay, so this is another thing that also impact the family in general. Okay, so I guess that's it. We also look into the relationship between husband and wife, can also be affected.
Mm-hmm.
Studies shows like both finding sometimes the relationship become better. Okay, they become more cohesive as a couple, and that would also reflect the cohesiveness in the family in
Yeah.
general. But
True.
unfortunately, okay, in certain couple, for example, the relationship become very um, intense, then they may have problems. I heard, for example, some couples get divorced, okay, throughout the journey of treating their children. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that would definitely affect the whole family in general, as well as the sibling.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it is a ripple effect that it goes throughout, like a domino effect, and yeah,
Yeah,
like what Aziza said, that if the cohesiveness is there in that family, then it works well. But if it's not, then of course it works in the in the other side of it. Yeah. And of
correct.
course, siblings seeing that, because one of the child is in the hospital, their brother or sister in the hospital, and then parents here are fighting and not getting along each other. So they have a lot of questions that probably it's not answered. And sometimes, they're being in rotation of being taken care of. Sometimes the grandparents or the uncles, or, whoever will take care. And that also gives them a bit like, who am I supposed to confine and talk? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how does this actually typically affect the emotional well being of these siblings of the
Yeah.
family? Yeah.
Okay. When we're talking about the emotional or psychological well-being of siblings, we
Mm-hmm.
are actually looking into the same thing: how the cancer affect the children who is sick, for example, who are sick,
Mm-hmm.
and then how it can affect the parents, and then
Mm.
we are also looking into the siblings.
Yeah.
These emotional disturbances are almost similar, I would say, almost similar in nature. Okay,
Uh-huh.
the reason or the things behind that, the rationale behind that is very different. So, for example, siblings may feel fear.
Yeah. Sorry, Aziza, can you come a bit in front because we can't hear you? Yeah. Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
siblings, for example, will feel fear, anxious,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
um, of not about the illness because they are not getting one, but they may
Mm-hmm.
be thinking, how if I get one, for example, how if the cancer is actually transmissible to me and I get one. So that kind
Mm-hmm.
of fear is real to certain children. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, they will fear of how if my sick sibling, brother or sister not making it, pass away, and so on. So this anxiety and this fear is something very genuine that they are feeling. Okay, so they may also feel guilty, for example. Feel guilty. Some children at certain age may think something like, "Oh, is that something wrong that I've done?" For example,
Mm-hmm.
that made ataupun result in my sibling getting
Mm-hmm.
sick. Okay, is there something wrong, for example, that I said? Okay, at certain ages, for example, some children may think in that way. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, some adolescent, for example, may feel guilty about not being good enough or being available or being supportive enough to somehow help other sibling. Okay, but they do not know how to actually say it, and they may actually turn out to just isolate themselves, doing their own thing because of maybe this guilt feeling over things that which is not their fault. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
other emotion could be angry. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
angry because of the lack of attention that the parents cannot actually afford to be there all the time for them, and they need to actually spend time with the sick children, being angry that they do not know what is actually happening. Okay, when they ask to their mother, for example, okay, how's the sibling is doing? Maybe the mother do not know how to actually tell them, or they being afraid of telling it
Mm-hmm.
wrongly and so on. So being angry of not knowing what is happening and not being involved in the discussion, for example, so that they cannot play their role
Mm-hmm.
to do better things for their sibling. Other things would also, yeah, I mean, those who feeling sad, okay, that is common, I
Yeah.
guess. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
feeling sad over what happens, and if it is um, coupled with other things in the family like parental fight or yeah, things like that, they will also be a ripple effect like you said, Sita. And
Mm-hmm.
some maybe older children or early adolescent may get into depression. Okay, depressed mood, low mood because of long term sadness that they are having and they don't know how to deal with it. Yeah. So I'm I'm looking at the similar psychological issues, only that
Correct.
the reason could be somehow different when we are getting sick and when we are not getting sick. Yeah. So those
Mm.
are the emotional responses or problem.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, so with all this, it can be also crucial and very worrying for the parents as well. I mean, not only that they have a child to take care of that's sick, and they also have the other kids who are going through this, like what you mentioned about, teenagers falling into depression because they don't
Mm-mm.
know who to talk to, who to confine to, and stuff. So, what would you suggest, like the effective strategies that maybe can help the parents, like to
Mm.
see or to notice or how to talk, or what are the communication ways, or maybe some examples that you can actually show or tell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I guess cancer in children, one of the difficult thing to do
Mhm.
for the parents is actually to communicate the
Mm-mm.
news
Yeah,
to the
that's true.
child first, yeah, right,
Yeah.
and then what
Yeah.
more to the siblings, right? I think that is
Yes.
one big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe one of the um, biggest reason for that is the parents themselves don't feel ready or don't feel good about telling whatever the truth or whatever. Okay, so I think that is the thing. So it's coming from the parents. I really believe good communication. Um, yeah, I think good communication means we are telling the children what they need to know,
Mm.
not what we think they need to know or they want to know. Because you will see, Sita, some patient or some children will want to know a lot, but
Yeah.
some do not want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is not like one way to communicate to our children. Some children would like to be told what is known so that they can get ready, get prepared. They can plan for something that they want to do, for example, with their sick sibling. But some
Mm.
children may not actually be ready or prepared to listen to so
Yeah.
many information or facts. And to these children, we don't want to actually bombard them with all the information that we know. So I would
Okay.
say, first thing first is good communication. Good
Right.
communication needs to start with parents who can actually stabilize themselves, okay, who can actually figure out how to take this thing
Mm-hmm.
in a prepared manner so that they can somehow deliver what is needed by the children in a better way. Yeah, I would say that communication.
Okay. Right. So if like when you say communication, I mean some parents will now also wonder like, okay, yeah, you're asking me to communicate, but
Mm-hmm.
what how do I communicate? Like really maybe
What I say.
you can actually like yeah, like like an example of
Ah,
how do I communicate with my child who's going through this, especially like the siblings who are who's just not opening up to talk, or
correct.
they whether they understand or they don't understand, or they don't want to understand the situation, depending on how their behavior is. So
Yeah.
how can these parents already having a heavy burden on the right side, they also have the heavy burden here on the left side? So how do we like reduce that? I know this is an off question that I'm asking, but
Yeah.
maybe it's like like a example of a sentence or something that that we
Right.
can actually let them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When we talk to children, right, we really need to know their developmental level. Okay, so different, I would say different ages would have different understanding, different emotional need, different curiosity. So as they
Mm-mm.
grow older, they know more, okay, cognitively, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it also means that they have more perception, more belief, more assumption that they
Mm.
are think it in their mind based on their experience, based on what they've
Mm-hmm.
read, based on what they've heard, and so on.
Mm.
For younger children, they are very concrete. Okay, so we can actually say things very concretely. We can give some example and so on. But in communicating with children, I like to actually ask them what they want to know first. Okay,
Mm.
so I guess that could be one tips. Okay, what do
One
you
way,
want to
yeah.
know, for example? Okay, say for example, I wonder. Okay, I wonder if you want to know why, for example, Along, where Along is now, what he's doing now. Do you want to know? Something like that. I mean, for a younger children, right? Who know?
Mm.
Then it starts from there. We can
Mm.
talk to them about what is actually happening in a very very macam mana kita nak kata, very short, concise, precise, kan
And
benda yang
sweet way, short and
yeah,
sweet way too. Yeah.
short and sweet, and
Yeah.
if possible, not so much emotionally loaded lah. Okay, for younger
Mm-mm.
children. Okay. Don't put so much emotion into that. Say it as a thing as it is. Okay. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm not saying that we cannot share emotion. We can share something like, okay, I'm feeling sad actually because Along is not here with us. Okay. However, tomorrow I'm going to go there and check on him. Do you want to, I mean, whatever, say something to him, for example, or is there anything that you want? Okay. Is there anything that you want to ask? So we ask from them so we know what is actually in their head. Okay. And we can
Mm.
correct it. We can even ask, what do you think? Kan, katakan dia tanya soalan, and then we can ask again the same question to them.
Mm.
Because children, when they ask question, they've already, I mean, build up answers in their head.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes they test us whether we can handle that question and
Oh,
answer that
that's
they have
true.
in their mind, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's
so
true. Yeah.
yeah, so test them, ask them, and
Mm-hmm.
tapi parents kena ready tau. We need to be ready for anything lah. Okay, maksud
Mm.
saya, yeah, ready to hear anything that mungkin dia akan cakap, Along ni akan mati ke? Gitu kan, something like that.
Ah.
So we need to be ready for that, and then yeah, communicate as we need to. For
Mm.
adolescent, the same. Okay, the same. We can ask them if is there anything. Okay, ataupun biasanya adolescent ni we can start with sharing our feeling first.
Mm.
Contohnya because they are almost adult kan, so they
Yeah.
know. Okay, so we can share our feeling, and then we hope that by sharing ours, they also want to share theirs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means be as authentic as you are. Be
Mm-hmm.
raw and honest when
Yeah.
you're talking to
So
your kids.
authentic in this manner is as an adult lah, maksudnya kan.
Yes, as an adult.
Can be
Yes. Yeah.
authentic and very emotional kan, for example.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be scary to the children.
Yes. True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in an adult and in a very bearable way. That means, right? Yeah.
We can be emotional with appropriate person, for example, our
Yes.
partner ataupun our
Yeah.
mother and so on. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So another question is siblings of children with cancer. Do are they or would they have a higher risk for mental health issues?
Studies actually shows the same finding when they
Mm.
also study about the emotional well-being of children with cancer. Very
Right.
interesting. Okay,
Mm.
when I do actually study the psychological well-being of children with cancer, with
Mm.
leukemia in particular, and we've got like both group. Okay, some children become resilient, very strong-minded, very positive because of cancer, and you know that, kan, Sita? I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
you always see
A
children
little
like
bit.
that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like one third of the children who are having cancer will suffer from emotional difficulties. The same goes to
Mm.
sibling actually.
Mm.
Same goes to sibling. Similar findings are also found in when they study how cancer diagnosis is affecting the sibling. Like one
Mm.
third need attention. Not
Mm.
everyone. Okay, so
Not
that's the
everyone.
good thing. Not that's the good thing about us, human being. We
Mm,
adapt. We'll try to bounce back from
mm,
the difficulties in our life,
yeah,
and some of us will get succeed because of our personality, our maybe environment, our
yeah,
coping strategies, and so on. But some, of course, need extra attention. Yeah,
yes.
from play therapists, from doctors, and so on. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Um, so okay, so what mental health support? Yeah, like you just said, play therapy and
Mm,
seeing the doctors or psychologists doing
mm,
your coping and the therapy session and all that. But
mm.
what other options that they are available for siblings in the mental health support? If
Yeah.
you're looking at it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to pathologizing lah, maksudnya kan. I think we need to first look into what is actually available in the family ataupun
Mm-mm.
in the society, rather than looking into where we can refer these siblings to. Okay, so it
Mm.
becomes like uh, like 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 a thought, like everyone actually needs something extra. No, okay. I think as a sibling, okay, yeah, if the mother or the parents or the relatives aware, okay, of what they are experiencing, how they are feeling, how they are adjusting first,
Mm-hmm.
and try to cope with the situation, and then bring in this same like spirit of adjusting and coping onto the siblings. Okay, I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be okay, fine, enough. Okay, and they are like empowering each other, supporting each other. Relative especially must play bigger role as well, because like you said, Sita, when parents is not available, mungkin grandmother need to come in,
Mm-hmm.
auntie, uncle need to come in the picture. So if everyone is actually aware of what they can do to support the well-being of the siblings, I think we don't need so much of referral. Okay, but of course we need to take care of this one third who may
Yep.
need additional. Okay,
Yep.
and this thing need to be somehow started with the awareness lah of the parents or the relatives. Dia mesti nampak, okay, nampak
Mm-hmm.
macam quite difficult. Ada banyak siblings, but this one seems having more difficulty to actually adjusting or coping, and take this on, and then go for, I mean, maybe ask the doctor what I can do with my one child at home. For example, the doctor may then refer to like play therapists or counselor or psychologist. That can be done, but I would say that is secondary, because first, not many actually need that services, and even if they do need one, I think
Mm-hmm.
surrounding can play role as well, so that it is something macam we don't actually put so much macam mana, macam when we refer kan, so another session need to be done with
Yeah.
the same thing, right? So macam
Yeah.
additional to what is actually
Um,
existing, right? mm,
yep.
mm, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
So that's my
So,
point.
with additional support, or sometimes like what you said, like maybe the first layer, we before
mm,
referring to, like the other therapy and all that, we see what is happening in the surrounding. Yeah, but what about peer support for siblings? Like, I mean, how important is it for the siblings to connect with other children of the same situation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
is
that
it?
will be very good. Yeah, that will be
Mm-hmm.
very good opportunity, like support. Yeah, we always
Mm-hmm.
talk about support group for parents, for example, okay? And
Yeah.
that is very beneficial. And I guess support group for siblings can also be somehow um, initiated. I do not know. I think National Cancer Society Malaysia may also have done one. But these days, I think everything can be, I mean, done online. I think it's very
Mm-mm.
easy to actually get into one group and then talk about things. But I'm not so sure if we are talking about siblings, whether we want to group them together with different ages, kan? Macam-macam age ke? I
Mm-mm.
don't know how it can be done, but I've Googled through online. I can see many are actually society in the West, for example, having one support group particularly for siblings. I think that is
Mm.
something can be done and beneficial, especially adolescent. I think so.
Yeah.
They actually share more freely or more openly among themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And having get one common thing, which is I'm having sibling who are sick, may
Mm.
become like a common ground to them, and yeah, maybe they can get support from there, and also supporting others from the same
Mm.
group, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be a good an idea to look at and to move forward and maybe collaborate with with all the societies that we're out here. Like
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm.
So I think it can be something can be done. I think in that sense to support them.
Mm-mm.
And okay, like if once a child is down in depression or like the siblings like what you said just now, like when should parents consider seeking for professional help? Like just now we
Okay.
said about the environment that okay look
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
environment and try to cope from there, but when exactly what do they need to notice or what do they need to observe in a child, and when is the right time to actually seek for professional help?
Okay. Okay. I guess maybe the answer is pretty similar to when we need to try to when we need to actually be alert, right, of our healthy children, although whether or not they are siblings with cancer. Usually, we need to look into the changes in behavior actually. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, okay. So one of the thing that we need to see is that when we start to feel that the behavior of our child is changed from what
Mm-mm.
is he or she commonly appear. Okay, I'm saying this because some kid is loner, for example, from child. But then if we know that this is not our kid, for example, this is not him or her, the personality or the behavior change, then that is one of the indicator. Okay, changes in
Mm-mm.
behavior or changes in what they do and stop doing, for example. Okay, so that is one of the indicator.
Mm-mm.
uh, or when we see that the functioning is somehow affected, meaning that when we start to see changes in school performance, for example, when we start to see the changes in interaction with others, for example, that he talk lesser or he going out more or he doesn't
Mm-mm.
go out at all or he sleep more or doesn't sleep. Okay, so
Mm-mm.
when it affect the functioning, doesn't sleep, for example, and then resulting not waking up from sleep and then not going to school, so affect the functioning, then that is the indicator lah. Something is getting worse or need extra intervention. Okay, changes in behavior, disrupt the functioning. What else? Usually we also look into the duration. Okay,
Yeah.
duration of the things that we are seeing in the children. Maksudnya how
Mm.
long?
Okay.
I'm talking about sometimes like 4 weeks and above. Okay, dalam
Okay.
sebulan. Biasanya mental illness ni kita akan tengok within um, 1 month to 3 months. 3 months
Mm.
consistently and getting
Okay.
worse. Okay, kalau
Mm.
pun getting worse tapi very consistent. Sama
Mm.
je macam. So that is the indicator as well. The the apa tu? The lack of time. Okay,
Mm.
consistent for sometimes like a month to 3 months, then we need to do something about it.
Okay. 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 That's quite an indicator there to actually get the child to seek professional help. Yeah. Um, is there anything else you would like to share?
Yeah, I think changes in behavior ataupun changes in emotion would come in many phases kan.
Mm.
Getting someone who are easily angry, for example,
Uh-huh.
easily impulsive, kan, suka macam cepat mengamuk ataupun very sensitive. Okay, that's his
Mm-mm.
indicator. If the
Okay.
child is not that one, kan, it's not that person that we know, kan.
Yeah.
Ataupun become very quiet, tak ada emotion contohnya. Maksudnya tak ada apa-apa, very very macam insensitive, macam what do you want,
Mm.
nothing, do you want to eat, no, do you want to
Mm.
go out, no, kan, itu pun is another changes in behavior or emotion that we need to look into. Okay,
Mm.
yeah, other things is functioning lah. Okay, sebab
Mm.
children ataupun adolescent is need to be very functional person kan, they need to go to school, they need to do tasks at home, for example, they need to do study and so on. When this is not happening, so yeah, that is the time actually we need to start do something about it.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Doctor, to explain this and answer the questions, and hopefully, the audience will actually get some some knowledge and some, some, yeah, some way, some guidance on how to actually. So I think we have now two questions. Yeah. Uh, okay, so the question is from Sky Lane Creative. Yeah. Okay. So hi Sita and Aziza, how do one break the news about the child's prognosis to their siblings? Do we be 100% honest?
Okay, very, very interesting question. This is also one very important topic that we teach
Mm-hmm.
our medical student, how to break
Break the
bad
news.
news to
News.
the
Yeah.
parent or to the patient. Okay, so this is
Mm-hmm.
very important thing. Yeah, I will again go to the thing that I mentioned earlier. We want to know what they know first and what they want to know. Okay,
Mm,
um, usually when our child get diagnosed, the siblings ataupun other children know something is wrong, something is not
yeah.
going right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
some may know the diagnosis by name, some may not know the name at all, but deep down they know that something is not right happening in the family kan, macam mother apa tu nampak macam sedih, father go out, benda-benda gitu, they actually
Mm-hmm.
have some sense that something is not right, something is wrong. Okay, so I do not know how different family would actually deal with this thing, but maybe one thing that I can suggest is that we if you have a partner, you have a apa tu spouse, you discuss first. Okay, that okay there will be one time, one day, we want to talk to other children. Okay, so I'm talking about those who want to tell. Ada parents yang memang tak nak cakap langsung tau. Okay, but this is another case lah. So if we want to tell, we get agreement with our spouse first, how we want to go about it. So maybe one thing that I can suggest is that to ask first the children what they know. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second bit is ask them what they want to know more, maksudnya. Then we can apa tu proceed from there. Then we can start something like okay, malam ni kita lepas makan kita akan berkumpul sekejap, contohnya kita nak cerita pasal Along. I just give an example. Mungkin this child is at home, mungkin in the ward or whatever, so we want to talk about Along. Okay, mula-mula kata mama nak tahu apa apa yang what you already know. Sebab kita nak tahu if there is the right thing that they know, is there any wrong thing that they know, their understanding or whatever first.
Mm-hmm.
Lepas tu kalau ada yang betul, kita kata yes that is correct. Alung dah didiagnose cancer and ini. Okay, kalau ada yang salah, ada myth contohnya, we can correct them.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the first bit. We get clear what is in their apa yang dia dah faham, they think they know, they understand. The second thing is that okay now you know that betul mama dah pergi jumpa doktor and everything, and mama ada more information. Betul. Sekarang what do you want to know more? Okay. So we get the question from them. Mungkin the question is how severe, gitu kan? And then we answer that accordingly, what they want to know. Kalau budak tu kecil, kita akan answer dengan simple manner lah. Kalau budak tu besar sikit, mungkin kita akan cakap dengan prognosis, dengan treatment and so on lah, based on what they want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's how we break the news, because different people may need the information differently. So 100% honest, I agree. Okay, to be honest meaning that to tell the truth. Kalau kita tak tahu, kita kata tak tahu. Kalau kita takut, kita kata kita takut.
Yeah.
Memang takut. Mama pun sebenarnya sedih. Kita akan honest. Tapi how much is depending on how much they want.
Mm.
Okay, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah. Okay, and the next question. Thanks. Okay, so from Hazim. Okay, what are some ways to encourage positive communication and understanding between siblings during a sibling's cancer treatment?
Okay, encourage positive communication.
Okay.
To keep communicate, okay? To keep communicate regularly, I would say, openly, and sometimes communication may also include not talking. Okay,
Yeah,
jadi
that's true.
diam,
Yeah.
kan? Macam diam
Yeah.
dan ya. Tapi kalau kita keep communicating kan, keep communicating, then we can actually reach into kita kata selamat. Okay, kita akan jadi orang yang selamat untuk dia bercakap. Maksudnya ada masa mungkin kita akan kata, I feel very frustrated, I feel very angry today, but keep communicating the feeling rather than hide. Okay, bila kita banyak hide kita punya feeling sebab takut nanti anak ni tak boleh terima ke whatever, the communication becomes secretive, become something dangerous to the child. Tapi kalau kita keep communicating, sama ada benda yang baik ataupun benda yang tak best, benda tu keep communicating. I guess communication becomes something not to be fear of.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Anak tu dah tahu kan mak dia macam ni ke kan. So I think that can be positive in that manner. Okay. So understanding will apa tu will follow lah. Kalau kita selalu bercakap kan, then they will get to understand better.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's a nice way to put it on the communication part, positive communication. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's it for the question. Yeah. So Aziza, is there anything else we would like to add and to wrap up the session? Yeah.
I think that's all.
Okay. So basically, yeah, just to be validating, like what Doctor said, right? To ask them what they know, and most importantly about what they know and what they want to know more, and keep the communication going, regardless whether you are talking or you're not talking. Just being present in with them at that point of time. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So thank you so much, Aziza, for coming in online with this. And yeah, it was good to catch up online here. Yeah, we'll catch up soon as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. And yeah, good night. And thank you so much for the audience, to those of you who have stayed on with us. Have a good night and a good rest. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Sita. Thank you, National Cancer Society Malaysia, for having me. Okay, good night and
Good
have a
night.
great. Okay, bye.